Hello. Now in this lecture, we will see the pointer registers, the index registers and the flag register bits in 8086 microprocessor. So let us start here with the details of pointer registers. Pointer register define the offset address within a particular segment. Now this offset address is always 16-bit just because that size of segment is normally 64 kilobyte. And we know that 64 kilobyte is equal to 2 raised to 16 bytes. Hence the offset address within that corresponding segment is always 16-bit. In a very simplified manner, at the beginning of that corresponding segment, its offset address will be 0000 hexadecimal. And towards the end of that corresponding segment, the last offset address of that segment is FFFF hexadecimal. So anyway, offset address is always with reference to the starting address of that corresponding segment, and starting address will be always having the offset of 0 and last address of that segment will be always having the offset of FFFF hexadecimal. Now let us see here the first pointer register, stack pointer. Now as stated here, it defines the stack top offset address from the stack segment. Now the stack pointer and the corresponding stack will be referred during the execution of stack related operations. Now let me tell you here that stack related operations include push and pop type of instructions where the data will be actually stored on the stack or retrieved from the stack. And apart from that, that stack pointer will be referred during the execution of subroutine call and interrupt processing. So during the execution of subroutine call and interrupt processing, the return addresses will be referred. The return address is the address from the main program where upon execution of that subroutine or upon completion of that interrupt service routine, processor's control must be returned back. That's why stack pointer, it is referred during the execution of stack related operation, means during the execution of subroutine call and also at the time of interrupt processing. It has been clearly stated in this document. Then the second pointer register is a base pointer, BP. This register defines the base offset address from the stack segment to refer data. It clearly means that stack will be used for storage of stack related information during push pop or return addresses, or it can be even used for storage of generalized data. And whenever such type of generalized data is referred, that time the offset of that generalized data is pointed by base pointer register here. Then the third pointer register is instruction pointer register, IP register. IP points the offset address during the pre-fetching of the instructions. We know that in the pipelined operation of 8086 processor, that bus interface unit using contents of code segment register and instruction pointer register, 20 bits of address will be generated and it is given out to external memory, and from that external code segment memory instruction bytes will be fetched and those will be copied to Q from the top end. It clearly means that for the generation of 20 bits of memory address, for fetching of instruction, that instruction pointer defines the offset address. And of course, that segment register will be code segment only. In a very specific manner, instruction pointer defines the offset of next instruction, which is to be taken from the code segment, which will be filled within that queue from the top side, and later on it will be taken from the bottom side of that queue by execution unit for the execution purpose. So these are the three pointer registers which are available in case of 8086 microprocessor here. Now the index registers. In case of 8086 processor, there are two index registers which are designed, and these are source index SI and destination index DI register. And both the index register, they define the offset address during string manipulations. It clearly means that index register will also point the offset address from a particular segment, but in a specialized application, that is during the string manipulation. Now the first index register is a source index, SI register. Now this SI register, it defines the source string offset address from the data segment. It means that during the string operations, there are in all total 5 string operations available. We will see those string operations in detail later on in the instruction set. But during such type of string manipulation, the offset address from data segment, whenever source string is to be referred, that is pointed by source index register here. In short, that source string always resides or defined within that data segment, and its offset address will be pointed by source index. Now the next is a destination index register, DI register. This DI register defines destination string offset address from the extra segment. It means that the destination string, the other type of string involved in the string manipulation, it always resides within that extra segment, and its offset address 16-bit is pointed by destination index register here. Now next is a status and control flags. In case of 8086 microprocessor, there is a single 16-bit flag register, out of which only 9 flag bits are properly defined. 9 flag bits are active. And these 9 flag bits, which are basically flip-flops, those are bifurcated into 2 categories here. There are 6 condition flags, also called as a status flags, and 3 control flags. So in all, total number of flags are 9. And basically each of that flag is a flip-flop which is having only 2 stable states. Set means logic 1. Second is a reset, means logic 0. So there are 2 operations related to flip-flop, related to flags, that is set state and the reset state. Now let us see here what I mean by condition or status flag. Condition or status flags, those are set or reset by the processor. And this condition flag, that indicates the result condition after ALU operations. Let us take one example here. Suppose I am performing a subtract operation where my numbers to be subtracted are 10 and 10. Same number, 10 minus 10. In this subtraction, that result generated is 0, is a unique type of result. So one flag bit called as a 0 flag bit will be set to logic 1 here. It indicates that whatever arithmetic operation or logical operation you have just now performed, that has resulted in a 0 value. Similarly, whenever we are performing a subtraction of say 10 minus 12, in that case result is minus 2, negative. So another flag bit, which is a sign flag bit, that is set to 1, indicating that result generated after this arithmetic operation is negative. So like that, there are 6 condition flags which are defined. We will see in the forthcoming discussion now. Then next is 3 control flags, which are set or reset by the user, by the programmer. And these control flags, they are used to control certain operation of the microprocessor. It means that setting or resetting of that control flag will be done by the programmer. And that way, programmer is prompting or controlling operation of that corresponding processor. Now let us see all those flag bits one by one here. First of all, condition or status flags. First condition flag, that is carry flag, CF. Carry flag indicate the carry generated out of MSB in addition. MSB stands for most significant bit. Whenever carry is generated out of that MSB bit, the extreme left bit after addition, then carry flag is set to 1. Similarly, whenever borrow is taken into MSB bit in subtraction, then also that same carry flag is set to 1. It clearly means that carry flag will be 1. It indicates that carry generated out of MSB in case of addition or borrow taken into MSB in case of subtraction. And whenever carry flag is equal to 0, it indicates that no carry or no borrow. Next is a parity flag, PF. This parity flag indicates the even parity result. It means that after performing arithmetic or logical operation here, whatever result generated, if it contains a even number of ones within that result, then that parity flag will be set to 1. It means PF is equal to 1 means the result generated has got even number of ones within it. Result has even parity. And whenever PF is equal to 0, it means that result has odd parity, odd number of ones. Then next is auxiliary carry flag, AC flag. It indicates the internal carry out of lower nibble. Basically, nibble is a collection of 4 bits. In case of 8-bit ALU operation, there are 2 nibbles which are connected or which are present there. Lower nibble, that is lower 4-bit, and then the upper nibble, that is upper 4-bit. In case of any arithmetic operation, whenever carry is generated from the lower nibble and if it is internally forwarded to upper nibble, in case of 8 bits of ALU operation, in that case auxiliary carry flag will be set to 1. On the other hand, AC is equal to 0, auxiliary carry reset, means there is no internal carry generated out of lower nibble. Then the next flag is a 0 flag, ZF. 0 flag equal to 1. After any arithmetic operation or logical operation, it indicates that that operation has generated 0 result. Otherwise, if the operation, arithmetic or logical, is generating non-zero result, in that case 0 flag will be reset. So 0 flag is set whenever result is 0. 0 flag is reset whenever result is non-zero. Sign flag SF. After arithmetic operation, if that result generated is negative, in that case sign flag will be set to 1. And if that result generated is positive, in that case sign flag is reset. So SF is equal to 0 that time. Then next will be overflow flag OF. This overflow flag indicate the signed arithmetic overflows. Now what I mean by arithmetic overflow here? Whenever we are performing some signed arithmetic operations, the numbers are taken into 2 registers. As an example, it can be taken in one register and second from even memory location. And whenever these 2 signed arithmetic numbers, those are added together, say for example. And after addition, whatever result generated, if that result is a larger than the capacity of that 8-bit destination register, in that case signed overflow flag will be set to 1. As an example, in case of 8-bit signed addition, the maximum number that 8 bits of register can hold is plus 127. The numbers which I want to add, say for example plus 85, which is well below this plus 127, can be represented in 8-bit register format, and second number is say plus 65. First number is plus 85, second number is plus 65. Both the numbers are well below plus 127, can be easily represented. Arithmetic addition can be performed. But once their addition is performed, that result generated will be plus 150. And this plus 150 cannot be represented, cannot be stored within that 8-bit register format here. And here is that overflow flag set to 1. Just to indicate that result generated after this signed addition is exceeding the capacity of that destination register, which is maximum 127 plus. So overflow flag will be set to 1 to declare this particular result condition. Now when this overflow flag will be reset, in case of this signed arithmetic addition, if that result of addition is well below plus 127, in that case there is no arithmetic overflow. So overflow flag will be reset to 0 that time. Now next is the control flags. There are total 3 control flags. Out of that, first is a trap flag, TF. Control flag, as I stated earlier, that these are set or reset by the user. So whenever user sets this control flag, then certain control action will be carried out. So the first control flag here is a trap flag, TF. When TF is set to 1 by the user, by the programmer, then processor enables single stepping operation during the program execution. It means that whatever number of instructions which are written in that corresponding program will be executed instruction by instruction. First instruction executed, because of that trap flag set to 1 by the user, single step interrupt is internally generated. Processor goes to execute interrupt service routine of that single step interrupt, and within that interrupt service routine, that will display the result of that corresponding instruction here. And then after that interrupt service routine, processor will come back to your program execution again. Second instruction will be executed. Again after second instruction execution, single step interrupt generated. Again it goes to interrupt service routine. Again the modified contents of result will be displayed because of the execution of the second instruction. It means that after every instruction execution, processor stops and displays the consolidated result of that corresponding instruction which is just now executed. And that is just because of the execution of that interrupt service routine. It means that it is as good as showing the result of execution of every instruction to the user and waiting to prompt the system from the user side to execute the next instruction. So this is one of the way to find out the logical errors within that program. That is what we call as the debugging. Debugging of the program is done by using trap flag here. Now what happens whenever trap flag is equal to 0? Trap flag reset to 0 by the user. In that case, it disables single stepping operation. It means that whatever application which has been written there will be completely executed, and towards the end only that final result will be displayed to the user. So no single stepping if the trap flag is 0. Single stepping will be enabled if the trap flag is equal to 1. That is what stated here. Trap flag equal to 0, no single stepping, but normal execution of the program is continued. Then next is the interrupt flag, IF. When interrupt flag is set to 1 by the user, it enables the hardware interrupt line INTR. INTR is nothing but the lower priority hardware interrupt line of 8086 processor, and that will be kept enabled whenever interrupt flag is equal to 1. And whenever interrupt flag is 0, reset to 0 by the user, it disables INTR interrupt line. Then next is direction flag, DF. Whenever direction flag is set to 1 by the user, then processor performs auto decrement the index register offsets after string operations. It means that during string instruction, the direction flag will be used. If direction flag is 1 set by the user, then auto incrementing that offset which is pointed by index registers. On the other hand, if the direction flag is 0 reset by the user, then processor will perform auto increment operation for that involved index register after string operations. Okay, it means that direction flag 0 will set that index register in auto increment mode. So offset addresses will be incremented. And if the direction flag is 1, in that case, that index registers will be set in the auto decrement mode after string operations. So these are the functions of all the flag bits in case of 8086 processor here.